I guess. I wasn't expecting that to be read either, so sorry if I sounded pretentious there. But yeah, I'm Peah Emm, and I am not going to be reading anything sexy at all. I'm actually reading The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Hayden. I was planning on reading the last few pages of The Hunger Games or Harry Potter, but then I was like, shit, there might be kids here. And I really didn't want to ruin those childhood novels for them, so we went with this one. It's on a little bit of a different tone, so sorry. Also, I apologize. I realize my voice is really irritating, but you guys are going to get about 20 minutes of it tonight, so get ready. So I'll read you the little prologue about the book, and then we'll get in. I'm reading the first 7 to 8 pages because I really do recommend it and I don't want to ruin anything. So we'll just start from the beginning and you guys can take it from there. Cool. Christopher John Francis Boone knows all the countries of the world and their capitals, and every prime number up to 7,057. He relates well to animals but has no understanding of human emotions. He cannot stand to be touched and detests the color yellow. Also, this book is about a boy with Asperger's, high-functioning autism, and Savant syndrome, which is prodigy syndrome. So he's very bright, and we're going to get into his life. It was 7 minutes after midnight. The dog was lying on the grass in the middle of the lawn in front of Miss Shear's house. Its eyes were closed. It looked as if though it was running on its side, the ways dogs run when they think they're chasing cats in a dream. But the dog was not running or asleep. The dog was dead. There was a garden fork sticking out of the dog. The points of the fork must have gone all the way through the dog and into the ground, because the fork had not fallen over. I decided that the dog was probably killed with the fork because I could not see any other wounds on the dog, and I do not think you would stick a garden fork into a dog after it had died for any other reason, like cancer, for example, or a road accident. But I could not be certain about this. I went through Miss Shear's gates, closing it behind me. I walked onto her lawn and knelt beside the dog. I put my hand on the muzzle of the dog. It was still warm. The dog was called Wellington. It belonged to Miss Shear's. She was our friend, and she lived on the opposite side of the road, 2 houses to the left. Wellington was a poodle, not one of the small poodles that have hairstyles, but a big poodle. It had curly black fur, but when you got close to it, you could see the skin underneath the fur was a very pale yellow, like a chicken. Also, I realized my legs are spread. Sorry if you can see my underwear. I stroked Wellington and wondered who had killed him and why. My name is Christopher John Francis Boone. I know all the countries of the world and their capital cities in every prime number up to 7,057. 8 years ago, when I first met Siobhan. Also, this name Siobhan is spelled S-I-O-B-H-A-N. And when I first read it, I read it as Saboan. And so tonight I was like, you know, you should probably look up what that name actually is, and it's Siobhan. So for me, she was an eclectic lady, but I found out she's Irish, so that's fine. Also, in this book, there are many pictures. So it's really small, so you can't see it, so I'll try to give you an image with facial or something when we get there. 8 years ago, when I first met Siobhan, she showed me this picture. Somebody frowning. And I knew that that meant sad, which is what I felt when I found the dog. Then she showed me this picture. Somebody smiling. And I knew that meant happy, like when I was reading about the Apollo space missions, or when I am awake at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning, and I walk up and down the street and pretend I am the only person in the whole world. Then she drew some other pictures. There's a whole bunch of faces. But I'm unable to say what these meant. I got Siobhan to draw lots of faces and then write down next to them exactly what they meant. I kept this piece of paper in my pocket and took it out when I didn't understand what someone was saying. But it was very difficult to decide which of these diagrams was most like the face that I saw, because people's faces move very quickly. When I told Siobhan that I was doing this, She got out a pencil and another piece of paper and said it might make people feel like hashtag squiggly face. And then she laughed. So I tore out the original piece of paper and threw it away. And Siobhan apologized. And now, if I don't know what somebody is saying, I'll ask them what they mean or I'll just walk away. I pulled the fork out of the dog and lifted him into my arms and hugged him. He was leaking blood from the fork. I like dogs. You always know what a dog is thinking. It has 4 moods: happy, sad, cross, and concentrated. Also, dogs are faithful and they do not tell lies because dogs cannot tell. I had been hugging this dog for 4 minutes when I heard screaming. I looked up and saw Miss Shears running towards me from the patio. She was wearing pajamas and a housecoat. Her toenails were painted bright pink, and she had no shoes on. She was shouting, "What in the fuck's name have you done to my dog?" Sorry, that came out way different than when I practiced. "What in the fuck's name have you done to my dog?" I do not like people shouting at me. I don't like shouting either. It made me scared that they are going to hit me or touch me, and I do not like that when it happens. "Let go of the dog," she shouted. "Let go of the fucking dog, for Christ's sake." I put the dog down on the log and moved 2 meters back. She bent down. I thought she was going to pick up the dog, but she didn't. Perhaps she noticed how much of the blood was leaking out, and she didn't want to get dirty. Instead, she started screaming again. I put my hands over my ears and closed my eyes and rolled forward until I was hunched up with my forehead onto the ground. The grass was wet and cold. It was nice. This is a murder mystery novel. Siobhan said that I should write something I would want to read myself, mostly because I read books about science and math. Him and I have that in common. I do not like proper novels. In proper novels, people say things like, "I am veined with iron, with silver and with streaks of common mud. I cannot contract into the firm fist, which those clench who do not depend on stimulus." Well, that one's southern really fast. What does that mean? I don't know either. I do not know. Nor does Father, nor does Siobhan, or Miss Stevens. I have asked them. Siobhan has long blonde hair and wears glasses which are made of green plastic. And Miss Stevens smells of soap and wears brown shoes that have approximately 60 tiny circular holes in each of them. But I do not like murder mystery novels, so I'm writing a murder mystery novel. In murder mystery novels, someone has to work out who the murderer is and catch them. It's a puzzle. If it is a good puzzle, you can sometimes work out the answer before the end of the book. Siobhan said that the book should begin with something to grab people's attention. This is why I started with the dog. I also started with the dog because it happened to me and I find it hard to imagine things which do not happen to me. Siobhan read the first page and said it was different. She put this word into inverted commas by making the wiggly quotation sign with her with her first and second fingers. She said that it was usually people who were killed in murder mystery novels. I said that 2 dogs were killed in The Hound of Baskervilles. The Hound itself and James Mortimer's spaniel, but Siobhan said they weren't victims of the murder. Sir Charles Baskerville was. She said that this was because readers cared more about people than dogs, so if a person was killed in a book, readers would want to carry on reading. Also, the beauty of this book is whenever something is bold or ostracized, it'll give you a little definition of what is going on at the bottom. So it says, "I found this book when Mother took me to the library in 1996. I said that I wanted to write about something real, and I know that people had died, but I didn't know anybody who had been killed, except Miss Paulson, Edward's father from school, and that was a gliding accident, not a murder. And I didn't know him really. I also said that I cared about dogs because they were faithful and honest, and some dogs were cleverer and more interesting than some people. Steve, for example, who comes into school on Thursdays, needs help to eat food and cannot even fetch a stick. Siobhan asked me not to say this to Steve's mother. Then the police arrived. I like the police. They have uniforms and numbers and you know what they are meant to be doing. There was a policeman and a policewoman. The policewoman had a little hole in her tights on her left ankle and a red scratch in the middle of the hole. The policeman had a big orange leaf stuck in the bottom of his shoe, which was poking out from the side. The policewoman put her arms around Miss Shears and led her back to the house. I lifted my head off the grass. The policeman squatted down beside me and said, "Would you like to tell me what's going on here, young man?" I sat up and said, "That dog is dead." "Not go that far," he said. I said, "I think somebody killed that dog." "How old are you?" he asked. I'm going to stop there because this will get creepy if I keep going with that accent. Thank you. I recommend this book. Are there any questions about the book? Or about me? Did I kill the dog? You'll have to read to find out. I don't want to give it away because it's a nice plot twist who killed the dog, or if somebody did kill the dog. Criminal Minds. I saw a hand go up somewhere. Oh, there are many hands. Shit. Okay. What do you do, Kiki? No. Oh. It says that he has written a lot of books for children, but it doesn't say he's on the spectrum anywhere in here. It says sizzling, dazzling, words like that, from other people who have read the book. But yeah, no, he does like picture books a lot. Yeah.
Could you say the title again?
The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, all lowercase. By Mark Haddon. And there was another hand over there. No? Hi. Hey.
Does the boy survive? Still alive?